Well, if Trump was so wonderful and great when he was in and loved or loves the veterans and the military, what did he do to fix the VA? What did he do to stop the mass suicides of veterans? I believe, in my opinion, of why they actually do commit suicide. Because it has been found out that when they join, they sign a disclosure to where they cannot talk about anything that they see and do, or their families will be in dire trouble. And so to prevent themselves from talking about it and to protect their families, in my opinion, they commit suicide. I don't believe there is any wars. I believe they sit there and have to murder each other, blow each other up, mess each other up for their agenda, for power. I don't think any of it is true. I don't believe any of these people are their enemies and are theirs and our enemies. All of them up top above us, that's ruling over us, when we're supposed to be the kings and queens over them. We're supposed to be the ones that created that government. We're the creators of it. Means we own it. We control it. We put them in. We hire them. Elect. It's hire. It's a business. It's a corporation. United States, under, I believe it's 18 U.S. Code 3002. United States Corporation. It's a corporation. It's not a government. That's a definition of what the United States is. As a corporation. No, the word government is nowhere in the definition. The government was ended over 100 years ago. Ended. So, no, what was it? 1871? No, it would be 70 something years ago. It was ended. Ain't it? Wait a minute. 2020, we're past 1900. Yeah, over 100 years ago. Ha, funny. So yeah, over 100 years ago, they eliminated the government under the Organic Act of 1871. It was over. Gone. Vanished. No longer exists. And it was turned into a corporation. The Constitution, they're changing the Second Amendment. As I speak, they're changing it. It's not our Constitution if they can change it. If they can ignore it and we can't force them to obey it like they would force us to obey them. They're not a government. There was no insurrection of a government. So, yeah. Trump did nothing for anyone. All he did was to do what the others want that would make him look good because he's on their side. And now with this bull crap that the U.S. Supreme Court has created, to where any president, all presidents, is immune above the law. So if Biden wants to kill Trump, he can have Trump killed. Or he can do it right there in front of everybody. Just pull out a gun himself, pah, and no one does anything and just stands there. You can't carry a gun over there to protect him. He don't have his own separate secret service. He wasn't allowed to have it. Because he don't have no power. Presidents don't have power. They have a boss. And those people that's protecting him has a boss. Trump's not their boss. They're just there to protect him. For them. But you don't want to see it. You just can't believe that this evil, more than likely reptilian is not on our side. He did nothing for the VA. He did nothing for the veterans. Everybody's been saying, fix this. They're committing suicide. Why? They're not getting the help they're supposed to from the VA hospitals. Why? Everybody forgot about pushing Trump to do that because it got us all distracted from everything with all this other crap and more crap, more crap, more crap. Throw out enough distractions and everybody can't fight for each thing one at a time as we go along throughout the first 4 years of that person's presidency. He works for us, the kings and queens of the government we created. But it's not a government. We didn't create what it is today. That was eliminated. 1871, something else was created by someone else outside of us, we the people. There is no we the people of America. There's them, we the people, the true United States citizens. To be a United States citizen in their codes, you have to be a hired agent, employee, or officer with given authority, hired to be an officer of the federal government or the federal states, to be an officer of authority. That's it. You have to be one of those three things. You cannot be outside of that and then be ruled over. They can only rule over themselves and those that are hired into the government. You aren't hired in the government. You don't have to abide by it. It's a business. You're not their employee and they're treating you like you're their employee and they can control you. They actually believe that we work for them as U.S. citizens, like they are. But we're civilians with civil rights. Because this is another thing I want to talk about. As a U.S. citizen civilian, you have civilian civil rights that they created, not God. They created it. And so then they can take it away. See, they created civil rights to give it to you, and then they can take it away at will. So you don't have no common law rights. If you don't say, I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm not an employee of the United States government, I swore no oath of office to work for the United States government, I swore no oath of office to work for the state, so therefore I'm not a resident of the state, I am an American born on American soil. And they got no control over you. They have control over you because you say you live in the state. And so if you live in the state, you're a resident of that state, you work for that state. Well, you say you're a U.S. citizen, civilian, well then they control you. A foreigner has to come in through the immigration system, and in order to become a U.S. citizen, they have to swear an oath. And in anyways, the U.S. is a corporation. The White House is that corporation. and it resides inside of Washington, D.C. So I was not born inside of the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. So therefore, I am foreign to that corporation and that little piece of land sitting inside of a foreign country. That 10th Amendment, nowhere in it does it state that the state is giving the right to make laws and enforce them upon the people, and the people are required, there's another word too, but required to obey the laws of the states that they are inside of. It's only about separation of powers of the federal government and the states. So the states can rule over this, the people running the state can run the state the way they want to. And the federal government can't come into these states and say, you can't run your state the way you want to. We're going to tell you how to do it. That's what the 10th was created for, to prevent that. The federal government's supposed to stay out of the states. But they joined together. They united with the government. And so then the government can do what they do. And since you claim to be a check mark U.S. citizen, civilian, you become their slave. And they gain control over you. You're no longer king or queen over them. Because all of it was created after they eliminated the North American government. That government's over. Trump never did say it's now a government, it's no longer a corporation. He didn't give us our government back. He didn't give us our government back. He put us under a new corporation that's going to put us under the digital system that the New World Order created. He's there to bring us into that. And if they actually do kill them, and which I doubt it, because if they do, maybe the American people that are for him will rise up, and they don't want that. They'd rather put him in jail or prison. But they made a law. He can run while he's in prison. It's all a show. It's entertainment. It's a game. The Hunger Games. They got everybody fighting each other. Divide and conquer. Violence. There ain't no unity. There ain't no peace. Ain't none of them fighting for peace and unity. You have to end the two-party system to do that. To end the division. No more taking sides. We're all one. All one for all and all for one, or whichever way you say it. All for one for all. That's what we're supposed to be. And being good to each other. But they don't want that. Plus, Trump was a Democrat. And since the Democrat seat was already taken, he said, I want to run for independent. That way you had two Democrats running and then a Republican. But you still would have got a Democrat. I don't care what side they pick. He was already a Democrat. So y'all got to wake up to this. The system is bull. They're lying to you and they're playing you. You want unity, but you don't act like it. Act like it and stop being a hypocrite. If you want unity, stop taking sides and back away from it. Walk away. We can walk away. There's nothing in the U.S. Constitution that says Americans are required to vote. Nothing. The word American in America is not in there. It's not our Constitution. It's theirs. You can't enforce it upon them. You can't pick up a pew-pew and go, how many you going on? No. You can't do it. And you're too scared to do it anyways. So it's either walk away and get ready to protect yourself, defend yourself when they come, like the British did back then, and the British owns it again, and using Israel to run everything, or, going through Israel to run everything and making us think that Israel is the only thing that's running this country. The Jews are involved in all this. But it's the ones that's above the peasant Jews, the people. That's who's running everything. The cabal through Israel. So, that's what the rest of what I was getting ready to talk about. It was going to be 2 videos on it, but I'm making it 1. And hopefully it's getting to where I won't have much more to say, because we're reaching the end. This year is it. And there's not going to be an election because they're pushing us to the Great Reset. And they're getting us to get pissed off and rise up and no election. That's how it's going. But y'all don't want to believe that we're going to be, that this is ending. It's already over. Trump done put us under a new corporation. The U.S. is over. And there is no America. You're a U.S. citizen. There's no America. Till you stop claiming to be a U.S. citizen and a resident of the U.S. state, there is no America. It was all created to divide us up and get us all hating and fighting with each other. That's all it was for. And they sit up there and laugh at us and have fun. Behind the scenes. When they're no longer sitting there on camera and there's no one to be able to actually go behind the scenes and record what they're doing, what they're saying and all that. We need body cameras on these people 24/7. And there won't be anyone working in there. It'll be eliminated because no one will want that. A camera on them 24/7, bedroom, living room, outside, in their business, everywhere, because there are employees 24/7. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Bye.